Hello learners, in the previous video lecture of this module, we have discussed meaning and definition of communication. We have also completed the historical background of communication in the Indian context. In addition, we have also understood scholarly insights on communication. We have also learned the needs of communication in the detail in the daily life of human beings. Furthermore, we have also discussed function of communication with the references in detail. In this video lecture of the module, we will explain communication. We will also explain the process of communication, that is linear and non-linear process of communication. In addition, we will also discuss various types of communication depending upon the nature of communication, that is based on the person involved in the communication process. We will also explain vertical, horizontal and grapevine communication based on flow of information. Furthermore, we will also discuss verbal and non-verbal communication based on language. After completion of this video lecture of the module, you will be able to explain linear and non-linear process of communication in detail. In addition, you will be also able to explain various types of communication depending upon the nature of communication, that is based on the person involved in the communication process. Furthermore, you will also be able to describe vertical, horizontal and grapevine communication. You will also be able to express verbal and non-verbal communication in detail. Let us explain communication first. Communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts and feelings between individuals or groups through various mediums such as speech, writing, gestures, symbols or technology. It is a fundamental aspects of human interaction that enables us to convey messages and establish understanding. According to Danius Mackwell, communication is a process which increases commonality. He describes human communication as the sending from one person to another of meaningful messages. Effective communication involves the encoding of information by a sender, the transmission of that information through a chosen medium, and the decoding and interpretations of the messages by the receiver. It is a two-way process that requires active listening, comprehension and appropriate feedback to ensure mutual understanding between sender and receiver. Communication serves multiple purposes, including sharing knowledge, expressing emotions, building relationships, coordinating activities, influencing others, and resolving conflicts. It plays a crucial role in personal, social, professional, and cultural context, facilitating collaboration, cooperation, and the development of sharing meanings. Communication is more than mere transferring or transmission of ideas or thoughts. It is not a static act as some of the earlier definitions suggest, but it is a dynamic process of action and interaction towards a desired goal, as suggested by later definitions. Communication is therefore a process of sharing or exchange of ideas, information, knowledge, attitude or feelings among two or more persons through certain signs or symbols. Process of communication. Communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts and feelings between individuals or groups. It is an essential aspect of human interaction and plays a vital role in various aspects of lives, including personal relationships, business, transactions, education, and more. There are two types of communication process, that is linear and non-linear communication process. The process of linear and non-linear communication involves several key elements and steps, which I will explain in detail along with relevant examples. Number one, linear communication. The linear communication process is a simple and straightforward model of communication that depicts communication as a one-way flow of information from a sender to a receivers. It follows a linear sequence of steps and does not account for feedback or interactive elements. Let's explore the linear communication process and also provide examples to illustrate each stage. Number one, sender. The sender is the initiator or of the communication process. Sender encodes the messages and decides how to convey it. For example, a message in a company may send an email to send to their subordinate informing them about a new project, or politicians use several methods like media, rallies, roadshows to deliver message and form public opinion. Number two, message. The message is the information or content that the sender intends to communicate. It can be in the form of spoken words, written text, visual, or any other means of expressions. In political communication, the message could be the political manifesto, government policies, and developmental work of the government, or attack on opposition parties, and so on. Number three, channel. The channel refers to the medium or method used to transmit the message from the sender to the receiver. It can be face-to-face conversation, addressing public gatherings, road shows, print media, television channels, digital media, or any other forms of media. Mostly leaders of political parties use multiple channels to deliver messages and persuade the public, such as a television channel, newspaper, social media platforms, road shows, rallies, and so on. Number four, receiver. The receiver is the intended recipient of the message. They decide the message to understand its meaning and context. In political communication, the receiver refers to the individuals or group who are the intended recipients of the political messages or information. These receivers can include voters, political supporters, public, or any other targeted audience that politicians or political organizations seek to communicate with them. It's important to note that the linear communication process oversimplifies real world communication interactions, which are often more dynamic and involve feedback loops. However, it can still serve as a useful model to understand basics of communication scenarios where feedback is minimal or not considered. Number two, non-linear process of communication. The non-linear process of communication refers to a communication model that deviates from the traditional linear models, which assumes a straightforward exchange of information between a sender, message, a channel, a receiver, and sometimes a noise. In non-linear communication, the flow of information is more complex and dynamic, involving various elements and factors that influence the overall process of communication. In a non-linear communication process, the flow of information is not limited to a sender transmitting a message to receiver. Instead, it emphasizes the exchange of messages and the influence of various factors on the communication process. Here are some key features of the non-linear communication process. Number 1. Feedback loops. Feedback is a crucial element in non-linear communication. It involves the receiver providing responses or reactions to the sender's message, creating a loop of information exchange. This feedback can be immediate or delayed and may impact subsequent messages. For example, during election campaigns, candidates engage in a non-linear communication with voters. Candidates send messages through various channels such as speeches, debates, advertisements, social media, and public appearances. Voters provide feedback through polls, public opinion, survey, and interactions with the candidates. These feedback loops influence the candidate subsequent messages and campaign strategies. Number 2. Group discussions. In a group discussions, participants engage in non-linear communication. Each member contributes their ideas, opinion, and perspectives on a particular topic. As the discussion unfolds, individuals respond to each other's statements, build on ideas, and challenge viewpoints. Feedback loops are formed as participants reach and modify their positions based on the ongoing conversations, leading to a collective understanding and potential resolution. Number 3. Noise and interference. Noise refers to any factor that disturbs or distorts the communication process. In our non-linear model, noise can take various forms such as physical distractions, language barriers, emotional states, or conflicting beliefs. Noise can affect both the sender's encoding and the receiver's decoding of messages, making communication more complex. These examples demonstrate how the non-linear process of communication involves continuous interaction, feedback, and the influence of various contextual factors. It highlights the dynamic nature of communication and complexities involved in exchanging information, understanding, and building shared meaning. Types of communication. Communication is the process of transmitting information, ideas, thoughts, or feelings between individuals or groups. There are various types of communication, each serving different purposes and utilizing different mediums. Here are some examples. Communication based on people involved. Number 1. Intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication refers to the communication that occurs within an individual's own mind or self-talk. It means that an individual communicates himself. It may be introspection, inner feelings, message constructions, internal dialogue, self-reflection, or strategy formulation. This form of communication is essential for self-awareness, self-regulation, decision-making, and personal growth. Self-talk involves the internal dialogue we have with ourselves. For example, when we think about our goals, evaluate our performances, analyze situations, or motivate ourselves, we engage in self-talk. This inner conversation helps us process information, clarify doubts, and make decision intrapersonal. Number 2. Interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication refers to exchange of information, ideas, feeling, and meaning between two or more individuals. It involves the use of verbal and non-verbal communication. methods to create shared understanding and establish connections. Interpersonal communication is a fundamental aspect of human interactions and plays a crucial role in personal relationship, social interactions and professional context. For example, we engage in interpersonal communication every day with friends, family members or colleagues. It can include discussing personal experiences, sharing opinions or engaging in small talk such as chatting with a co-worker about weekend plans or having a conversation with a friend about development or political issues. A sociologist, Irving Goffman, in his book titled The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life, explored the role of interpersonal communication in shaping social realities. He focused on how individuals present themselves to others and the influence of social contexts on interpersonal communication. Number 3. Group communication. Group communication refers to the process of exchanging information, ideas and opinions among members of a group or team. It involves the transmission and reception of messages within a collective group where multiple individuals interact and collaborate to achieve common goals. Group communication occurs in various settings such as business organization, social organization, academic groups, classroom discussion and community gatherings. In a classroom, a group of students engage in group communication such as making dialogue, asking questions, expressing opinions and sharing knowledge on a specific topic. The exchange of ideas among students and the teacher promotes active learning, critical thinking and the exploration of diverse viewpoints. We can find a group communication in early human civilizations, where groups of individuals such as tribe gathered in a communal space to communicate and share information. These gatherings served as platform for decision making, conflict resolving and the transmission of crucial knowledge. Discussion would take place in these groups to address important matters affecting the community such as human strategies, agriculture practices and social norms. Number 4. Mass communication. Mass communication is a process of transmitting information, messages and ideas to a large and diverse audience through various media channels. It involves dissemination of information on a mass scale, reaching a broad range of individuals simultaneously. In mass communication, a mechanical device is used to multiply messages and take it to a larger number of people. Television, radio, newspaper, magazines, internet websites, social media are few prominent platforms of mass communication. For example, television channels transmit news, entertainment programs, documentaries and advertisements to millions of viewers at a time. Television channels transmit messages to a wide variety of audience and play a significant role in shaping public opinion, disseminating news and providing entertainment. Early printing press. The invention of the printing press by John Gutenberg in the 15th century revolutionized mass communication. With the ability to mass produce books and pamphlets, written information became more accessible to a broader population. The printing press played a vital role in disseminating scientific discoveries, religious text, political ideas, and literary work during the Renaissance. Early newspapers and pamphlets. The emergence of newspaper and pamphlet in the 17th and 18th century marked a significant milestone in mass communication. These printed material provide news, opinion, and information to a wider audience. For example, include the first printed newspaper Acta Diurna in ancient Rome and the early modern newspaper like the London Gazette. Communication based on flow. Communication based on flow refers to the direction and patterns of information exchange within a communication process. It involves understanding how messages move between participants and the dynamic of information sharing. There are three main types of communication, that is formal communication, vertical communication, and grapevine communication. Number A, vertical communication. Vertical communication is a communication process in which information or messages flow between or among the higher authorities, supervisors, leaders, and managers to subordinates, employees, or team members of different levels of an organizational structures. It involves the flow of information beyond upward and downward, ensuring effective communication and coordination within an organization. For example, upward communication refers to the flow of information from lower level of the organizational hierarchy to higher levels. It allows employees to provide feedback, suggestions, grievances, and performance reports to their supervisors, managers, or top level authorities, while downward communication involves the flow of information from higher level of the authorities of the organizational hierarchy to lower level. It is used to provide instructions, guidelines, policies, and feedback to employees. Effective vertical communication ensures that information flows smoothly and accurately through the organizational hierarchy, allowing from coordination, collaboration, and the achievements of organizational goals. It promotes transparency, supports employee engagement, and enables efficient decision making at all levels of the organization. Number B, horizontal communication. Horizontal communication refers to the exchange of information, ideas, and feedback between individuals or departments at the same hierarchical level within an organization. It provides collaboration, coordination, and problem solving among peers who share similar roles or responsibilities. Organizations often create employee network or communities focused on specific interests such as diversity and inclusion, wellness, or professional development. These networks facilitate horizontal communication, collaboration, and knowledge sharing among themselves. Effective horizontal communication promotes teamwork, innovation, and a sense of belonging within an organization. It engages collaboration, information sharing, and mutual support among colleagues, leading to increased productivity, employee satisfaction, and overall organizational success. Number C, grapevine communication. Grapevine communication refers to the informal and unofficial communication network that exists within an organization. It consists of information, conversation, rumors, and gossip that spread among employees outside of formal channels. The grapevine communication network often emerges spontaneous and operates parallel to formal communication channel. It may be rumors, it may be a sharing of personal experiences, or it may be emotional support and bonding. For example, rumors about organizational changes. Employees may hear rumors about potential layoff, merger, or changes in leadership before they are officially announced. This informal communication can create anxiety and excitement within the organization. Grapevine communication contributes to the development of an informal network and shared culture within an organization. Employees may share personal stories or experiences with each other, creating a sense of empathy with each other. Sometimes, in the absence of official communication, employees may intentionally or unintentionally spread rumors or misinformation that can lead to confusion, anxiety, or disturb within the organization. Organizations should be aware of grapevine communication and its impact on employees' moral, trust, and organizational culture. While it cannot be completely eliminated, efforts can be made to encourage open and transparent formal communication. Address rumors. Communication based on language. Communication based on language refers to the use of spoken or written language as a medium for exchanging information, ideas, and emotion between individuals or groups. Language plays a central role in facilitating effective communication and understanding. Here, there are two types of communication based on language, that is, non-verbal communication and verbal communication. Number 1, non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is a vital aspect of human interactions that involves transmitting and receiving messages without the use of words. It includes various elements such as facial expression, body language, gestures, posture, and eye contact, touch, and tone of voice. Here are some examples of non-verbal communication. Gestures involve the deliberate movement of hands, arms, and other body parts to convey meaning. They can exchange or replace verbal communication. For example, a thumbs up gesture signifies approval or agreement, while a thumbs down gesture implies disapproval. Number 2, verbal communication. Verbal communication is a process of transmitting information, thoughts, ideas, and emotions through spoken or written words. It is a fundamental mode of human interactions that allows individuals to express themselves, exchange information, engage in conversations, and share knowledge. So, learners, with this we have understood communication, linear communication, and non-linear communication process in detail. In addition, we have also completed various types of communication depending upon nature of communication, that is based on person involved in the communication process. Furthermore, we have also learned vertical, horizontal, and grapevine communication.
Now, it's time to check your progress. Write down following questions and check your learning level by writing answers of those questions. To assess your learning level, we are providing you long questions. Give answer of the following questions. Number 1. What is communication? Discuss process of communication in detail. Number 2. Discuss linear and non-linear process of communication, the appropriate examples. Number 3. What is interpersonal communication? Discuss it with the appropriate examples. Number 4. Discuss various types of communication based on people involved in the process communication. Number 5. Based on flow of information, discuss various types of communication with the examples. Number 6. Explain vertical, horizontal and grapevine communication with the appropriate examples. Number 7. Differentiate verbal and non-verbal communication with the examples. Number 8. What is mass communication? Discuss it in detail. Number 9. What is linear communication? Discuss linear communication process in detail. Number 10. Discuss difference between linear and non-linear communication.